Live Friday night, FSBRacing.com. It's Winston Cup 88, and we're at Texas World Speedway 2007. The whole cast of characters with a few new ones. Starting on pole, the youngster, the real race car driver in go-karts, Isaac Johnson. Melt Minter Jr. along with my cohort in crime, the voice of FSB Racing, Greg Bernardo.
What's up, what's up, what's up, Milty, everyone? FSB Racing, Winston Cup Friday nights here from Texas World Speedway. Awesome track, Milty, wide, super speedway-like, but still a little finesse required. And yeah, the kid on the pole, the kid is just unbelievable, Milty. 5 straight Pro Cup wins to start the chase. And he's on fire right now, so I would tell the competition, find where the 72 is and try to hang with him.
Yeah, and a couple other guys that haven't seen the podium on qualifying in a while. Pops Markison, and Steve Weber,
Yeah,
Webster, the big cactus.
yeah, you got the big cactus starting third here, and on the outside, Josh Elliker missed last week. Maybe a little redemption in his mind here as we get the green flag underway, and Isaac, really great restarter as well, starter and restarter, Milty. And again, he gets that nice start, picks his preferred line going into turn one, and away we go here at Texas World Speedway.
Well, they're going to take it easy here at first.
Yeah,
Let the tire temperature come in.
definitely a little loose here with cold tires. We see Steve jumping into second, Jeff falling into third, Pop's fourth, Josh back to fifth. Our last week's race winner, Ken Soska, our admin for the series, sitting right there in sixth.
Yeah, you don't know how that's going to... racing is funny, man, and you get a W, and sometimes you get on a roll, and all of a sudden every decision you make is the right one. You just never know. But he's sitting pretty there.
Yeah, and confidence, there's no replacing confidence in your driving ability as well. And when you get a win, it kind of validates that confidence you have. And, success breeds success, just like, when you're struggling, it seems like everything goes wrong every week. When you have a good car, you're in the lead, you get a flat, you get a blown engine, you get a speeding penalty, and all these things seem to happen. You get wrecked by someone else. And then when things go good, then, like you said, everything you decide to do seems to work out.
Pretty much wide open here. They do have to lift a little bit when they get behind each other.
Yeah, and we saw a little...
center of the corner there, real close.
Yeah, and we saw Ken there get a little out of shape. Ryan right up onto the back bumper there on that outside line. Rick trying to go underneath him there. And looks like he is successful to complete that pass, putting Ken back in position. Now we got Chet and Ryan now side by side, and Rick Johnson pushing the outside line. Rick elected not to qualify this week with a smaller field. I think he feels good about that decision. He's going to drive around this first green flag run here and see where it all shakes out for him.
Yeah, there's nothing like race speed and race draft. You can practice all you want, but especially with a huge point lead, and that's just kind of how he rolls. It depends on the track. Sometimes he'll qualify for it, and he's usually up in the top three. This time he wants to ride and see what everybody's got.
And we saw bringing up the rear there for momentarily, certainly. 8 of Dino and 6 of Mark DeSenza. Again, Mark also electing not to qualify, so he's just going to take it easy on this first run and see where it all shakes out as we move slowly back up to our front of the pack here. We see Isaac maintaining that lead, but Jeff Hale now has glided into second using that high line, Milty. Really is two distinct driving lines here that looks like you can be successful at either one.
Jeff likes that high arcing line in, just like his teammate and cohort in crime there, Slim Jim Gately.
Yeah,
Can really use that, especially early on.
Yeah, shout out to Slim. Not able to make the race tonight, and has missed the last couple races. So all well wishes go out to Slim Jim there.
Yeah, he's vacationing, man.
Yeah, he's got priorities here.
Yeah, he does life, and sim racing, life is first, and that's the way it should be,
Yeah, absolutely. And we see getting to have a battle for the lead now with Jeff and Isaac. Steve Weber right there third. Josh Elliker looking for some room there. Made a nice move from the outside to the inside right in front of Pops, sitting in fifth. And this has really brought the back half of this pack right up to the front.
Woo! Wiggly wiggly.
Yeah, now that there's some racing starting at the front, Milty, the cars, these guys are going to push these cars now with the warm tires and see what they can do.
The Big Cactus, he's admins and runs on Tuesday nights. He's been sporadic, the former champion.
And a little contact there, Milty, with Ken and Rick Johnson. I think Ken did not know Rick was there. Kind of drifted up on him there, and a little bump maybe. So the admin rubbing our points leader there early on.
Well, that was great foresight by the 52 to, as he do. That's why he's a champion. He doesn't just always win races. He finishes and knows how to deal with situations, and he saw that coming and backed off. Great reaction time. And Crew Chief Bonnie is definitely probably...
Yeah, we're getting racy at the front here as well as we talk about that. Jeff Hale got a big run on the outside, then shook the car down hard left. And made a nice move there, and with a little help from Josh, pushed him right into the lead. Isaac back to third.
Josh Elliker just hated it. I was reading in the forum, missing last week. Really wanted to give Rick a run to the end. Had to miss the race and doing life, but he's back here, and that can change your mindset a little bit. Now it's about still getting on the podium for points, but also just trying to win races here now.
Yeah, win races. If something comes up in these next few races, Rick misses a race, and maybe, you never know. Could be an outside shot on the last race of the season for him. You never know how things work out. Like you said, with life and things coming up, you have all
internet and crashing.
Who knows? Power failures, weather, so many things that can come up. So, fighting the good fight, not letting that 1 week say, well, my season's over now, so I'm not going to show anymore or anything like that.
Absolutely, yeah.
He's a good league member, and he's a great driver, and we're better for it when he's in the race for sure, Milty.
Yeah, his style. I'd like to say we are like style-wise, but that would be probably disrespectful to him because he's way better, But he's like what I would like to be able to do in a sim car.
He's kind of he can wear a lot of hats while he drives, Milty. We've seen him very aggressive at times. We've seen him cruise at times. We've seen him really help teammates when help was needed. And, he really can adapt to the race situation very well. And that's why he's right behind Rick Johnson in the Winston Cup points. Is because he knows what to do to get there. And he's having a great season. And hope that he can make these final races and see if he can end up there on the top of the podium, Milty. Wouldn't surprise me at all.
Well, I'm a little remiss as whether he's 16 or 17 now. 72 of Isaac Johnson, Pro Cup champion. You watch that patience, how he knew being up front, it wears you out after a while as you're starting to see these other guys make moves. But he fell back in and was very patient until he could find a spot to get back in. And Steve Weber was, those getting back in things will be harder later on.
Yeah, and Rick surged into the lead, but then didn't seem to have any issue with Isaac taking that inside line. Rick kind of just left it wide open for him. Isaac took it, got some good push there from Webb and Rick Bisconner there, and went back into the lead. I think Rick's comfortable with where he is, and it's all about now thinking about the green flag stop, which we're on lap 14 of 80 here at Texas World. What are we kind of looking at here, Milty, you think, for green flag stop?
Gotta be thinking the 20 mark. We're around 20. Obviously, you want to get to 20 because
right, that's the magic. Oh, and almost a little contact there.
What was that? They're Elliker going back a little bit.
Yeah,
they're shuffling.
Yeah,
4 wide down the straightaway.
We possibly could be seeing some tire wear. Track's not really known to eat tires up, but they were racing pretty hard there at the front, Milty, and that definitely can use up equipment. Isaac back in the league, Rick second, Webb third. Mark
they're both
from last to fourth. So Mark's making his move on this first run. He's positioning himself nicely coming into the green flag stop.
They're all having to use the outside and the inside. The inside seems to be the best lane, but eventually they go to the outside, then they recycle back in, and then get a run on the inside. Oh, real close. And so they're all kind of using their stuff up a little bit, I think, on that outside. And then getting those tire temps up a little bit, then going back in line and shuffling and jiving.
Yeah, and now we can see some single file at the front. Isaac, Rick, Mark Senza, 1, 2, 3, Jeff Hale 4th, Webb back to 5th.
Starting to think about pit stops now.
Yeah, as we're working lap 17 of 80 here at Texas World Speedway, FSBRacing.com, Winston Cup Friday nights. Glad you could join us. We're in the midst of our green flag run from the start. Starting lap 18 of 80 here at Texas World Speedway. Isaac Johnson, our pole sitter, is now our leader. He's got shuffled back, went back to the front. Rick Johnson, our points leader, right there, tucked in second place in that red box 4. Mark DeSenza from the back all the way up to third now, and Mark's exactly where you need to be to end this first run, Milty. Great job.
Rocket. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Lift off.
And that's exactly what he's done in this about 18 laps worth of racing, Milty. He's gone from 14th to 3rd, and just smooth as glass as well. Not making abrupt maneuvers to get around guys. He's just gliding by people. Doesn't look like he's working at all in there. If we saw a picture of him right now, it looked like you'd think he's asleep or something.
Waiting on the scanner, nothing. It's dead silence. Coming up on 20 to go.
Yeah, we're working.
Or 20 in, excuse me.
Yeah, working 19, about to start lap 20. As we said, the magic number. You would think there's no way they could make this a 3-stop race, so there's no reason to push it beyond what you need to. And I think Milty, a little slow checkup there, it looked like. So maybe some pit stops coming in order, and maybe some guys looking down at their gauges and but a little bump there from Jeff and Mark, and Jeff did a great job there. He really got off them and cost him some positions, but we stayed green. That could have been a disaster right there. And now Mark DeSenza makes a power move by Isaac on the inside. Isaac trying to get down there and close that door, but Mark got his foot in there.
Rick Johnson's not where he wants to be on the outside. way outside. He might go all the way to the back here on purpose. And
well, as we are on now lap 21, Milty, I'm just really expecting these guys to come down pit lane any time. But it looks like there's some hard racing still going on between Isaac and Mark. I wouldn't suspect they would be pitting with the way they're racing right now.
Rick might be taking a moment to talk to his crew chief and girlfriend, Bonnie, and watching the broadcast, I'm sure, and also giving him information of what we're saying and what's what's going on around him.
Yeah, you can see the entire field, Milky. You can almost throw a blanket over them. No one's falling off the pace there. Ken riding shotgun on the field, but he's right there in the draft with the rest of the cars. And so any mistakes here by any of these lead drivers is really going to be magnified.
And this is where the man or man and the sheep are afraid here when you got a pit.
Yeah, and we go around again. So we're working lap 23 now of 80. So any time, the window is definitely open for
ding, 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 ding. Pit, 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 pit. They're all signaling.
Okay, so
it is this time. Who can make it an extra lap and see if there's a mistake going into pit road. Let's see. Box, box, box.
Yeah, and we'll get our shot of pit lane here. And we'll
watch
him come
Mark
on down.
DeCenza goes right. Oh, wow, did you see that entry with Mark DeCenza? And he goes into the wall.
Oh, and there's cars spinning as well.
And there's
Josh Elliker.
Josh Elliker, too. I think he got caught up with that. We're going to have to take a look at that.
Yeah,
I saw that from spectator view, and like you are on the broadcast. Didn't see if he hit the wall or not. We'll have to go back and look at it like pit lane.
Yeah, we see Mark hits his pit. About the same. Man, that was like a big wad of cars there all coming in.
Could be speeding, could be, we got to look at that.
Yeah, it could be unsafe entrance, or it could be a myriad of things that could go wrong. But Isaac looks like he wins the battle off pit lane. Jeff Hale had some momentum there, but it looks like Isaac will hold him off as they all come off pit lane. You have to think the losers there are definitely Josh Elliker and Mark DeCenza. As we see the last of the cars come out, Josh Elliker now.
Okay, I'm taking a look at it here.
Yeah, now these guys sort themselves out. Yeah, let's rewind that real quickly here, Milty.
Okay, I'll wait for you.
And we'll go back to a better camera angle here.
I'm at TV too. That's pretty good.
Yeah.
DeCenza coming in.
We'll put it on Mark DeCenza here, and as we see the pit stops, Isaac really slowed down early. Mark came in very hot late, slid across the line, and yes, did hit the pit lane outside
There
wall.
was contact with Isaac and the 47 of Josh Elliker, and also Mark DeCenza power slides. That could be a speeding penalty, and that could be insult to injury. Rick Biscotter, great job of lowering it down with Mark DeCenza doing the triple Lindy there, going around the outside trying to make that happen.
And I believe Mark has retired, Milty.
But yeah,
he has. So that's possible from either damage, black flag, or a combination of both. Mark is now out of the race from that exchange. It looks like everyone else up and running, including Josh Elliker, we just saw there, in this last group of cars with Pops and Ken Soska. Then up to Dino, and you can see these guys did get strung out a little from this green flag stop. All the way up to Isaac now, who has a little over a second lead. Trailing Rick Johnson by a second, a little over a second. So Rick looks like won the pit stop battle.
When you can snatch the pebble from my hand, it will be time for you to leave.
And it looked like Isaac looked like got out good, Milty, but he was spinning the tires, and I think he lost a little speed coming out of the pits, even though he crossed the line ahead. I think he lost a little ground there with the tires. But now we're
That
on lap
second pack
27.
led with uh, split up with Chet 3 seconds back, and then Madera, California's Francisconi,
And we got
big
another
fella,
change of
tough
lead.
luck there.
Isaac going
They need
ahead
a
of Rick.
caution.
Jeff, Webb, looks like Ryan stayed in this lead pack of cars. And
Excellent for Ryan Johnson. Just killed in the back and avoided that melee. Made a
also,
nice, safe pit stop.
Another slim simmer there in this group, Milty, the 43 of Rick Bisconner. So Jeff and Rick may have maybe a little advantage here. In a small group, they can work together and maybe help each other out here. Jeff and Isaac side by side for the lead. Ryan and Webb third and fourth.
Well, if this goes green, now you're looking at with what 25 laps they made, 26.
Yeah, so we may make this a three-stop race now, Milty.
With the short pit.
Well, if you go another 25, that would only put you like 30 laps to the run at the end.
25, 50, 75.
Right. So that puts you 5 laps short of that.
Yep.
With the small field, can someone by the name of, let's say, Rick Johnson, conserve enough, Milty, that he can get... Oh, and there's a big hit by Pops in the back here. And down they go to the... And he collected Chet as well. And we may have that caution now.
Oh, yellow is out.
Yeah, caution.
Racing back to the line.
That was a hard hit there by Pops. We'll watch the race
Pops,
back to the line.
Feeling better, he told me before the drivers' meeting, and after his kidney stone blastings, which we don't even want to talk about that. That just hurts. But great to see the venerable one. But that's a hard lick there.
Yeah, that was a hard hit there, Milty. And let's take a quick look back at that with Chet here. I think Chet got collected, unfortunately, but we'll keep another eye on it here.
Pride of Sacramento, California, Big Chet. Gonna take a while to get him out of the car. He's a big guy, about 6'4".
Oh man, yeah, there was some contact there. Let's take a look. Looked like Chet's car just pushed up in the corner, Milty, and away he went right into Pops. And Pops, man, that was a hard hit into the wall. Came off.
Yeah, if I'm Pops though, and I'm outside that the dark spot there, I'm backing way off and letting him go by. Just saying, you know.
Yeah, obviously he probably would agree with you right now, as he really hit the car, got hit hard there. Dino, I think.
He had a great run though.
Looks like Dino took a glancing blow. Chet's car lifting off the ground.
Oh, big fella! They're gonna have to get him out of the hatch like Michael Waltrip
there, man. That was, yeah, that car is beat up now.
STP.
Back end.
The racer's edge.
Yeah, the back end of Chet's car is gonna really need some attention. Pops limps in the pits as well. Rest of the field in. Webb.
It hurts.
It looks like Webb gets out first, Milty. Might have to check 1 or 2 tires.
Whoa, Rick Johnson!
And Rick onto the grass to get around.
Wow, man, was that close with Elliker and Hale there?
And
Chihuahua.
And Isaac's still in the pits.
Oh, this is a long stop for the 72 team.
Yeah, extremely long stop for the 72. Almost have to think maybe did he have to maybe step away or something there? Car just sitting in pit lane. We know why Pops is there. His car is beat up.
Hmm. Oh, young fella, the young kidneys and bladder, he should be fine.
Yeah, you would
He
think
could,
so.
yeah, he's going to be running Indy 500 here next a couple weeks.
And he's still sitting on pit lane here, Milty. And have to wonder now, as the pace car's coming around, is he going to go a lap down? There he
Well, him and
goes.
his,
Wow.
okay, go,
So,
go, go, go.
so the kid just making it out back in time, Milty. That might have been that reminds me of the old Matt Watkins stop on the backstretch. And we thought maybe like he got disconnected or his wheel broke. And then when we talked to him, because of course he won the race, he said, "No, I had to go to the bathroom. I just thought it would be smarter to park it on the backstretch than in the pit."
Yeah, that's a possibility. Or he could, him and his dad race, of course, at the same house. They live there, and mom oversees that. Maybe mom said, "No, you guys haven't taken the trash out or
Yeah,
something," and
exactly.
get
Exactly.
your butt over here. And Dad's gonna be saying, "Nah, I paid for all this stuff, so
I'm
I don't
racing.
think so." Isaac, go kart racing. He's got real aspirations
Yeah,
to
he sure
do
does.
this for real, and they're doing everything they can to go through that ladder. And the first step is go
Yeah,
kart racing.
yeah. I mean, a lot of great drivers got their starts in go-karts, and they've parlayed it by winning. That always gets you noticed, Milty, when you win.
Yeah, and he's shown skills in real life and also on the simulator, which is a great training tool.
Oh,
And
absolutely, Milty. I mean, I know you've been in
my dad would
race.
be rolling over it. I mean, he had 3 laps before the first time he ran the 24 hours of Le Mans. He didn't even know where he was going when he got in the car.
Yeah, and we see a late group of cars coming down to top up, and left out Steve Weber, Rick Johnson, and Ken Soska. Everyone else
Yeah, they're in a window
down
now.
pit
Now,
lane,
now
Milty.
they're in now they're in the fuel window of 2 more stops.
So we're gonna see pretty much the good majority of field in, topping up and out
Good
again.
job there.
Oh, and
Eight
Isaac
of,
spun, and his dad spun him, Milty.
oh my
Unbelievable,
gosh.
unbelievable. Dad
This
spun
is
the
great
kid.
for Dino Francisconi here. Great little, he needed that, and now he's got some track position
Yeah,
here.
and the kid is really struggling now, and he's burning up some tire here. He's maybe defeating the purpose now of topping up, and he's lost a
Well,
bunch of track
he's
position
gonna
yet
get
again.
tires now. He knows. Okay, I'm
Oh,
in
he
the
didn't.
back now. Oh no, just got more fuel.
Yeah, and yeah,
Well, I mean, him and his dad are
smoking
like
those.
looking at each
He
other.
was
He's like,
smoking those
"Gosh,
tires.
gosh darn it, Dad!" And wow, well, Memorial Day could be rough
Uh,
at the Johnson house.
well, it's one of those things that you've talked about many times during the season, Milty. When you're one of the leaders in qualifying and you have that front pit position, and then you get shuffled back during the race, and you're coming in while other guys are in and coming out.
Yeah, yeah,
And that's exactly what happened there.
very.
It
See
was
it
a
on
big
on
traffic jam
NASCAR
there.
all the time. Yep.
And that's exactly what happened. Isaac trying to wedge himself into the number one pit when guys in the 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 pits were coming out, racing each other back to the yellow line at the same time there. And it was just a bad combination of things. And we're back under green. Webb's our leader. Rick Johnson second. Ken Soska third. Those are the 3 cars that did not come back in the top up. So Ken using some strategy there, Milty. He was riding around about the back of the pack there. And now he's decided to stay out with Rick and Webb and went from about 8th and ninth to 3rd. Let's see now if he can consolidate his position with these guys that are going to be hungry now. Jeff Hale, Josh Elliker now trying to move back up from
Some
that
gap there,
spin
yeah.
there.
A little gap there with Josh getting going there. This time they're spread out on that restart.
Mhm.
A little bit of spread out. We'll see what happens here as they start to close back up. So they're still in that 1.5 second draft zone. So
And there we see shotgun on the field, that green 72 car, Milty, and that's Isaac Johnson, who's really controlled this race from the green flag, sitting on pole, led probably the most laps so far, but a couple of mistakes there, and the kids shuffled back. So now he's going to have to work his way back to the front.
well, obviously getting to know him and his dad, you realize how well he was raised by his parents, and uh, but when they get beyond the simulators and they're racing, or if they're running go karts and dad and son are out there, it's a battle, and you know, dad's got years, man, and uh, he's definitely obviously he didn't want to get into him on the pits there, but he's a rolling, going for the win here.
Oh, yeah.
Caution is out. Caution is out.
Yeah, we do.
Bumps Marguson was going backwards earlier after that damage, that hard lick there.
Yeah, maybe see if we can see anything that would let us know why we got another caution out here. Aha. I think I saw a car that was up against the wall. And Chet's car, Milty. Wow.
Yeah, also
That car
damaged.
just snapped loose, and he just went head first
Oh,
into the wall.
jeez.
Man, and that's gonna he's definitely gonna have to spend some time in the infield care center there, Milty. Wow.
He done.
Yeah, and Chet is now out of the race. Um, Back under caution, we're on lap 38 now of 80, almost at the halfway point. We saw about 25 laps, 26 laps for green flag purposes. So I think these guys can get 4 tires and fuel, and you could do the cut it in half move here, Milty, and maybe do a little right around a 20 lap run and then another 20 lap run.
Well, we talked to Chet Barkin, and he was not in the mood to talk, so we were going to grab him up here, but respect his privacy.
Yeah, and that was a pretty hard hit too, so let him cool down a little there. Webb and Jeff Hale out, and the kid made up some spots there. It was an aggressive pit stop from the kid, and looked like he slightly overshot the pits there, being a little extra aggressive, but he did manage to gain a few positions there. But we got the 07 back in front, Milty, and now 2 weeks in a row. 2 weeks in a row now, the 07 leading laps.
This guy is a student of sim racing, and he is all in, and every week he gets better and puts a lot of laps in. It's showing. I get the green next time by. So
Yeah, we got the lights still on the pace car, so we'll have to work one more lap, I think, here before we go back to green flag racing.
okay, so that'll be 41.
Now the lights still stay on, so we'll actually go probably green at lap 42 now.
So that, either way, they're definitely in the zone for one more stop.
Yeah, now the question is if it stays green and you're getting to that window, do you do a short pit or do you run this stint full and then just short fuel the car to the end?
Yeah, with the smaller field, and uh, I mean, you need to stay in that draft, and going to come down to a head where they're still going to want to pit with each other or within a lap of each other. So if somebody short pits, the tire wear is not really an issue. So slowing them down a little, but not that much. And Saska still clutching. Just out of habit, because the thing is clutch under caution, even though you can still make it one, could change how much fuel actually goes in your car. Make that one stop. So if it's less than the other guys, plus he's going to be out front there, so he's going to
fuel sometimes.
Yep.
And we see that Rick Johnson,
providing he stays there.
Milty, Rick Johnson, the only car to sneak down pit lane here before we go green. So Rick going against the grain here of the rest of the drivers.
Well, he's doing exactly what I just was saying. Still one more stop, but
and he's taking 4 tires.
When I make that stop, I could go 2 no tires. I could run it out. I've given myself every option win the race, and fuel wise and tire wise, and so because he got a small
there.
Yep.
He's topped up. He's got fresh tires. He's probably thinking these tires might last me 38 laps now.
Well, he's ready for it. If it smells green, looks green, it might just be green.
As we slowly work our way back up to the field, we see that the lights are now off, and we'll be back to green flag racing starting lap 42. So 39 laps remaining. We know the window's somewhere in the 25-26 lap range.
Well, if it went green, you still would be getting 2 tires, so...
And the question will be, will guys come in, let's say, around lap 60, or will they be coming in around lap 65, 66?
Well, let's say we get a caution quick, 5 or 10 laps. Then everybody's probably going to get 4 tires. Rick Johnson's going to get 4 tires and have to put less fuel in.
Yeah, Rick popped up, no one else has. And Ken a little loose there. Dino very loose right in front of Rick there. Wow, that was a heart stopper for Rick, I think.
Whoa!
And
Dino's going for it, man. I mean, he's on live TV here, and got his brother and admin, Den Francisconi, and Sconi.com. Check it out. Amazing individual, amazing family, and heck of he would love to get on a podium on this dog right here.
Yeah, now we see just in the short time this race was restarted, Ken shuffled back. Steve Webb taking the lead. Now Ryan and Isaac, maybe Ryan trying to make up for the pit lane mishap, and maybe trying to lead the kid back to the promised land here. Looks like they're battling for third here with Isaac and Jeff. Some good side-by-side action here. Just also with Josh there behind them. And what about Webb here, Milty? Out in front of the veterans here. Webb, we know he doesn't, like you said, he's our admin for the Chicken Run Tuesday night, late night series at FSB, which runs basically a shorter version of this series. So Webb, very well versed in the track already from Tuesday night's run, Milty. Can he pull it off and cover Isaac and Jeff and Rick Johnson?
Absolutely, and he's feeling it, and
Oh, and Isaac's car pushing up, maybe trading just a little paint there with Jeff Hale. Ryan car went way up high as well, and now he's lost a couple positions. And this is very unsettled now since this green flag. Guys are really fighting and not willing to kind of sit back and ride just yet. Webb's still in the lead and very dicey behind him.
well, Kinsoska sees a huge opportunity with Pops damaged and going back points wise, and guys and Slim Jim Gately not here.
Yeah, absolutely.
He could get into the top 5 here.
Absolutely. There's still some tight points battles throughout the top 10. So, yeah, there's still some in the race for some of these guys here. You see Rick still shotgun on this field, but he's right there where he's in touch with the entire field. And remember, Rick came in with 4 tires and fuel right before we went green. No one else did.
Riding.
2x2 at the front now, Webb and Hale, and now they got to deal with Pops as they
Whoa!
force their way underneath them there.
Sadness, Chris Cornell, singer of Soundgarden, died this week. But one of my favorite songs of his was the intro to James Bond. You know my name, and you know my name, and that's what that Rick Johnson is sitting back there. He's waiting, but you know my name.
Oh yeah, all these guys at the front know Rick Johnson's name, and I'm sure they're always glancing back in their mirrors saying, when's he going to make the move? When's he going to make the move? And right now, there's some good battles at the front here. Isaac, Webb, Ryan, Jeff Hale, now Josh Elliker coming back.
Father and son side by side. 3 wide going down the backstretch.
And it looks like Webb is taking a very defensive line here, Milty. He kind of likes to get up into the turn, but then he cuts back down and covers that inside line, forcing the outside line to go around him. And now Isaac, with the help of Jeff, might get that run that he needs.
Well, if you're at Daytona, you could defend down low, but you still have to arc the car to get a good apex, or you'll lose time,
Yeah, we see maybe that's what happened to him as Isaac, Jeff, and now I think Rick in the 43 car, and now Josh Elliker maybe in the 47 have all gotten around him. So that outside line, those guys lined up, and they took advantage of it. Isaac all the way back to the lead from the back of the field.
And then they chop down low because that's still the fastest line. But what great battles here, back and forth, switching it. Just gotta watch that 52 and that 07 back there too. You gotta watch your competitors. You start to see, especially the great ones. Maybe I should do what he's doing.
Here, behind the leaders, Rick, Ryan, and Webb were 3 wide there going into the turn. And Rick Bisconner now is starting to say it's go time for me. And made a very aggressive move there. Let's see if it can pay off. Right now, they're still side by side. Rick right behind him. Ken Soska bringing up the rear of that group there.
Oh boy, that's busy right there. 3 wide. We got back off. Brian Johnson does.
Why don't we do some in-car
Yeah, yeah. This is what it's like.
We'll have the privilege of riding with our points leader, 52 car Rick Johnson, as he sees those cars on the inside line showing some strength.
Texas A&M on your right there, coming down the back straight, 189 miles an hour. Just a little blip, or maybe not even. Pretty much full throttle all the way around here.
See his red light is coming on before the end of these back straights. So he's really maxing out his runs down the straightaway.
Well, these are big setups, but they're not fixed fast. They're pro setups, so once the car's on the limit.
And you can see it almost doesn't sound like there's any lift at all for Rick here. Just got mashed it down and using the draft, using all the track available to him.
I would say a little lift just on entry, just a breathe of the gas. By yourself, obviously flat out.
And there, you can see him slicing and dicing in front of him. Rick Bisconner is really getting aggressive here. He's starting to feel that car is coming in to its own here, and he may be challenging for the lead momentarily.
Best lap for Rick Johnson, 38.7. Last lap, 39.4. But he was lifting a little bit on the outside. Now he's back down low. See what he do.
And you can see he's looking maybe to get by the 43 car, Milty. And Rick was just battling for the lead. He got shuffled to the outside. And everyone dove to the inside and kind of hung him out to dry there. And
clear.
Basically back all the way to the back of his pack.
Trying to find a place to get around. He saved his stuff long enough. Now he wants to get some track position, and here he comes.
Yeah, really using a little side draft action there too.
Oh, he hits the wall right there.
Yeah, it looked like there was a bump of the wall there. It's still side by side with Josh Elliker. Let's see if that affects the car. Milty looks like he's losing some ground there. Can he stay with the lead pack of cars now with that hit?
Well, he's forced to get back down and assess. He's looking at his greens to see if he's got any damage.
Yeah, and it looks like now he's maybe struggling just a bit here to keep up. As we jump out of the car to
That was
see
a
what's
pretty good
going
lick.
on.
So you gotta think, is he gonna fix damage or not when he pits? He'll lose, especially if it's a green flag stop.
And we'll continue to watch this battle up front. And what a battle. We got Isaac, Jeff Hale, Brian Johnson, Steve Weber, Josh Elliker, Rick Bisconner, and Rick Johnson.
Ken Soska is pitting.
Okay, so this is cutting it in half, Milty, lap 60. We said, will we see guys come in at 60 or will we see about 65, 66? So Ken rolling the dice here. He's coming in and hoping that this stays green now the whole rest of the way. Let's follow Ken in. See if he does any tires here, Milty. What do you think?
Nobody else. Nobody else. Ken Soska in the Gatorade. Monte Carlo down pit road.
And he's in. Is changing right sides. Will he just change two?
Less than 20 to
Four
go.
tire change.
Obviously, 4 tires are the way you got to go, and that's what you do.
So 4 tires and fuel for Ken. The rest of the pack staying out. Isaac continues to be our leader now. Ryan second momentarily, but I think Jeff Hale now is battling for that position and trying to take it away from Ryan on the inside, and it looks like he has done that. So Jeff back into second, Ryan third, Rick fourth. So now Rick coming on as we get ready for a potential green flag stop here. Lap 61 now of 80. I would expect these guys, Milty, maybe to see about 65 or 66.
Yeah, they're all in the draft together, and this is going to hurt Ken too because he's not going to have people to draft with, and that's going to really hurt.
Yeah, he would really like to see these guys mixing it up and battling each other and not staying in line.
Caution,
Yeah, of course, or a caution would definitely go a long way. Although right now, Ken's showing a lap down, so probably doesn't want to see that caution just yet. So no one else does the cut in half routine except Ken. I'm surprised. I thought we might see a couple other takers trying to do that. But the rest stand pat, and I think they're just going to play follow the leader now. If Isaac indicates he's pitting, you got to pit with the leaders now, don't you?
Yeah, they're all going to pit. Bing, 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 bing. Or maybe not. Oh, yep, 52. He's trying to get down, and he does. 29, 72,
and Jeff
59.
Hale from that outside. Oh, and Rick with a bold move, Milty.
Wow. Second line.
Jeff Hale into the wall.
Rick Johnson and the 47 of Josh Elliker, both of them right on the edge of disaster there. But
a very aggressive move in the pit lane by Rick Johnson.
Let me take a look at the second line is your pit road 55-mile-an-hour line. So as they come across, let me see what they got.
Unfortunately for Jeff Hale, that's probably going to cost him the race now as he gets into his pit very late. Josh Elliker off the pit lane first. Isaac in that preferred pit stall. Looks like he did get out just ahead of him. Yes, he did. And now let's check on Ken Soska.
Rick Johnson, 63 miles an hour over the line, but hard on the brakes. So
we'll have to check with
Josh Elliker. Josh Elliker, 77 miles an hour across that line. If you get to the first timing line at 55, you're good to go if you stay on the brakes. But wow, that's Isaac Johnson cruising in at about 6 miles an hour. So Jeff Hale spinning. So anyway, let's look at the scanner and nothing. So
Isaac has
you
come
can't
out
push
as our
that.
race leader. Soska now back on the lead lap in 7th.
Well, I'm sure he's probably regretting that strategy and hoping for a caution.
And we see Ryan and Rick about, let's check it at the line here, a second and a half behind the leaders. of Isaac and Josh Elliker, and now Ryan takes the position from Rick Johnson. So Ryan third, Rick fourth, Webb fifth, Rick Bisconner sixth, and there's Ken in seventh. And Jeff Hale has retired, Milty. Car, I'm sure, was not competitive after hitting the wall and losing a ton of track position from the spin. So we may end up here with a two-car shootout. Can Ryan and Rick run Isaac and Josh down, Milty?
Yeah, well. We got a race on our hands right here, boys.
There we can see the gap as we widen out the picture just a bit. There's Ryan and Rick chasing.
They're out of the draft of the leaders, but the leaders are fighting each other a little bit. A little outside in. Now they're fighting.
Dino up against the outside wall as well there. So maybe a little heart in throat moment for the leaders. You know, when a car goes into the wall, Milty, so many things run through your head. Is he going to stay up there? Is he going to come down across the track? Do I have to slow down? Should I speed up? Do I abruptly maneuver the car? And yeah, everything turned out okay for the leaders there. They sneak by Josh, really all over the back bumper of Isaac.
0.15 gain by the third and fourth place cars, while these two duke it out.
And you can see side by side for the leaders.
Not wise, man.
For third and fourth.
Get in line and get away from that 52, man, I'm telling you.
You can see Josh really wants to win this race, Milty. Not that Isaac doesn't, of course, but, you know, like we were talking about with missing last week, and you could hear, we talked to him.
0.4, almost a half a second gain there.
Yeah, chatted with him briefly about missing the race, and you could hear it in his voice. He was very disappointed that he wasn't able to make that race last week. So this is maybe a little redemption in his mind, and I'm sure beating our Pro Cup champion and current Pro Cup points leader to try to back-to-back our Pro Cup, I'm sure a win here for Josh, he'd feel really good about it.
Josh comes prepared every time. Clean, fast, patient, qualify well. He's got the whole package.
And it looks like maybe Ryan and Rick are slightly making some ground. But
yes, another point too. So and they're in the draft now. 1.5. They're drafting off the leaders, and they need to stay together. And these guys aren't remiss to this. They're looking at their the intervals. You know, in NASCAR 2003, you have to be crew chief and driver. They're seeing this, so they kind of chilled a little bit, and now they're racing third and fourth side by side.
Right, so that could cost them that time that they gained.
Rick Johnson, he'll take a top 5 and collect this trophy. Might have, Mike could clinch it here pretty quick.
Yeah, and you can see, Milty, they've lost over a half a second going side by side there. And again, now the leaders go side by side with Josh on the outside, Isaac on the inside. So really, nothing settled here amongst the top 4.
What a great show here by the young man, the 72, Isaac Johnson. He's starting to defend low now. That will upset their lines.
Yeah, he's gonna you can see he's gonna drift up into the corner, Milty, and take away that arcing line that Josh wants to take.
Ugh.
And then he gets down low, and hey, he's the leader. He's gonna
Great defending.
Yeah, he's a great
You
defender.
know, the rules of the league are no blocking till 2 to go at your own discretion.
Yeah, Isaac really drives well from the lead. And,
but defending is racecraft, you know.
Yeah, and he's really forcing Josh to go the big way around the track to get around him. And that's what you want to do as the leader. Force the other guy to go the hard way around you. And if he does, he's earned it. If he doesn't, then you're going to win. And you can see Josh has really been thinking, how am I going to get that run? He seems like he gets good runs off of him, Milty, but once he pulls out,
he hits a wall of air. Yep. Mistake from Isaac here. We'll see what happens. Coming up on 5 to go.
Yeah, and what we're also seeing here, Milty, is Webb and Rick Bisconner have caught Rick Johnson and Ryan Johnson, no relation. So we got 4 cars now battling for that final podium spot. Great runs by Webb and Rick Bisconner to catch back
Absolutely. We got a race there, too.
Oh, yeah, we got a 4-car race for third and a 2-car race for the win.
You know, and Ryan Johnson did what he would want to do for his son there, which was,
he took
race
out of the race.
Race the 52 and like he should, and give his son a chance to win here. That's good stuff.
Yeah, that's great stuff, Milty. Remember, they were only 1.2 seconds behind the lead. And then Rick and Ryan started fighting it out, and now they're all the way back over 3 seconds. And with just 4 laps to go now, Ryan's done his job.
Oh, Josh wants to make that over and under, but he just hits a wall of bricks when he goes outside, and then
the kid's riding the rim on 3
that's
and 4.
That's what you gotta do.
And
you gotta do.
Not giving him an opening.
Without any help, you gotta defend.
And Josh is gonna try to arc this thing in, maybe to try to get right up on his bumper as they exit.
Gotta try the over and under, where you take the under and over. But he's just hitting that wall right there.
Yeah, and Isaac very comfortable to allow him to be on the outside of him there, because he knows that's such a long way around. You're just not going to have enough speed to carry yourself all the way around.
On the straightaways, oh boy!
And
he's
now
got a great run down low.
Yeah, and remember, apron is in play here, so Josh very legal.
Neither one of these guys are racing for serious points. So
now that's some good stuff by Josh Elliker. That was something that we hadn't seen yet at all. And maybe put something in his head here as we're closing in on the white flag lap. Maybe Isaac might try to defend low, and he'll try to swing around the outside.
Well, it all comes down to turn 4. The setup for turn 4.
And we get the white flag here.
47 lace back a little bit. Josh Elliker is going to get that run again.
1 lap to go.
Arcing line. Isaac knows exactly what he's doing. He's watching his mirror as much as he's watching up front. But it takes great skill and practice, as you and I know, to be able to do that and then go back and hit your apex.
Yeah, and you can see Isaac
he's coming
did
around.
not make any mistakes here, Milty.
This is his, man.
And the kid hit his marks in this last
the
run.
72, Isaac Johnson, Sinclair, Chevrolet is going to win this race.
And he does take that checker flag, and what a great run there by the kid when it mattered the most, Milty. Final restart, the kid hit his marks every single lap there. And Josh has just had nothing to work with. But a good, solid second place finish for Josh Elliker. And how about Rick Bisconner stealing third place there, Milty?
Let's go back and look at that because we were so busy watching the leaders.
Absolutely.
Take a look at what the 43 done. We missed that.
Yeah, and we can see as they come off the turn, he managed to work his way around those other three competitors, Milty. And the real battle was between Ryan and Rick. And Ryan sends Rick on a wild ride through the grass and up the track and hard into the outside wall. Oh, man. And then finished off by Pops.
Oh, no.
That's no way to treat your points leader, Milty.
Oh, did he? Yeah.
Wow.
Insult to injury. Oh.
Wow, Rick went on a wild ride there. And Milty, that's a spin at about, what did you say, about 180 miles an hour.
Yeah, obviously Ryan didn't want to do that, but they was racing hard there.
Yeah, and Ryan was really defending that position as hard as you can there. Rick trying to go low and just ran out of real estate there, Milty.
And the beneficiary of their wills will be the Rick Bisconner. The booth after the race.
Oh, let's take a breath and let's look at our final running order here. Short field tonight at Texas World, but no lack of excitement. What a great finish between Isaac and Josh, and then going back to see that final finish there with Rick, Ryan Webb, and battling there, and Rick Johnson. And man, what a melee there at the end with Rick flying through the grass and into the outside wall, and Rick coming back from definitely further back, 7-8 seconds back, and get around all those guys and grabbing that final podium. Great job by Rick.
Absolutely.
So we'll have Milty go down and see if he can gather up our podium. Isaac, Josh, and Rick. And we'll have a quick chat with him before we wrap up another week here at FSBRacing.com. It's Friday night. It's Winston Cup Racing. That's what it's all about. We just saw a great battle between the youngster, the up-and-coming, making really a legend for himself now, Isaac Johnson, with another Winston Cup win here. And coming off 5 straight Pro Cup wins, the kid is just on a roll, and just no mistakes from Isaac there. Josh left, right, high, low, inside, outside. Nothing worked for Josh, and that's the mark of a great driver, is that you hit your marks. Everything else going around you is not really what's important. And we saw that Isaac brought it home when it mattered the most after having some difficulties there. He had an extended pit stop, unknown reasons right now. And then while he was in the back there, he ran into some difficulties in the pit lane, but managed to shake all that off and grab a checkered flag. And we are now joined by our top 2 as we gather up the rest of our guys here. And let's go for it first here, Isaac. A couple things we want to hit on right off the bat. Obviously, great battle there with Josh at the end. But what about the real thing we all want to know about? Dad spinning you in pit lane there. Tell us more about that.
He just kind of came out, and I was coming in, and it's just one of those pit road deals. I mean, it didn't really affect me that much. I wasn't too worried about it. If I would have gotten damaged, I would have been kind kind of upset, but I didn't gain damage, so I wasn't too worried about it.
Yeah.
Well, it was an interesting show watching you navigate back into your stall, and yeah, got 4 cars and off you went there. But that was pretty fun.
Yeah, that was good stuff. And Josh, man, you gave, I think, Isaac everything he could handle there at the end. Saw you use the apron, saw you almost all the way up against the wall trying to dive it down. Uh, I don't know if you could have done anything more there, Josh.
I don't think I could either. I tried everything I could. I was lacking a little speed because I had hit the wall in the first run, so it just was lacking that 1 extra mile an hour that would have gave me a little more confidence. But he had the best car all night anyway, and he was running the perfect line. Could have wrecked him, but it wasn't going to do that. But I did run down the apron, playing a little chicken there with like 2 to go, and I was hoping he would back off and let me in, and I could get the lower line. But nope. He held it, and I had to back off.
Yeah, that's what we saw there. Thought maybe you were trying to put that thing in his head for the next lap, and maybe try to do a little fakey to the inside. But yeah, he was just hitting his marks in the end there, and just really didn't give you much to work with.
Nope, he did it perfect, and it was the guys that finished first and second. We both spun on pit road, so I don't know if that was good luck tonight.
Yeah, sorry, I don't know if that was my fault or your fault. I was kind of like on the whenever you spun because I was coming in and I mean it was like that like almost blind spot coming into the pits, and then I kind of had to get up a little bit higher, and then it looked like you were coming down a little bit because whenever I went to the back, I went back and looked at my replay because I didn't know what happened, and I couldn't put a finger on who exactly's fault it was because. I mean, like I said, I was coming in low and I couldn't see outside, and then you probably couldn't see me on the inside, and then we just kind of
not at all
in the middle.
Yeah, I couldn't see you at all, and I was making sure not to, I think the 6 was on my right side. I was making sure not to hit him
you
as he was
guys had
slowing
a
up.
lot of stuff. 6 was crashing into the inside of the retaining wall, and he had like 2 more cars. That was discombobulated.
Yeah, we
right
saw
there.
we saw some real action. Pretty
Great
much the
TV.
biggest action of the night was pit lane entry during those green flag stops. We saw Mark DeSenza get into the wall. We saw you spin there, Josh. We saw Jeff Hale, who was running great all race. He got knocked out in that last green flag run with a crash into the wall. So yeah, pit lane was really the hot spot all night.
Oh, it's a real wide entrance, and then it kind of funnels down, so it was an adventure.
Yeah, with the 6
One
and
way
the
to put it.
52 going on the outside of you guys. I was like, wow. How are they going to make that work?
Yeah, and unfortunately, we're not able to talk with Rick, our third place finisher. It looks like he had to take off quickly.
Yep, they had to get on the plane.
But yeah, what we saw there was a big time 4-car battle behind you two with Rick Ryan, Rick Johnson, and Steve Weber. And a wild ride for our points leader through the grass and into the outside wall at the end of the race there. And Rick coming really from like about 6th or 7th position there all the way to 3rd on that final run. So a great run there by Rick.
I was, thinking Isaac and Josh are making a mistake racing here, but Isaac had his dad in his hip pocket there, and Pops kept Rick Johnson busy, and they got within 1.2 seconds, and then while you guys were digging and zagging, and then Ryan definitely started racing the 52, and that was the end of it. It was a 2-car race.
Yeah, it's kind of
I saw
a
that.
weird. Yeah, I kind of thought that once they got close enough, like it seemed like we kind of just made an agreement that we were just kind of going to run single file. I don't know. I mean, that just what it seemed like to me with me and Josh, and then they started backing off.
That's exactly
Yeah,
what we saw.
As soon as they got within a second, I just kind of backed off a little bit and didn't want to pressure you because I saw them closing in. Didn't want it to be a 4-car battle.
I said that on the broadcast because they're watching. They got to be and driver, and they're seeing that interval closing up. That they're going to make it a 2-car race here.
Yeah, absolutely. That was some good stuff there. Yeah, they slowly were knocking a couple tenths off each lap up to 1.2, and we thought, well, they're in the draft. We might see a 4-car race, and then Ryan really started mixing it up with Rick, and Rick also hit the wall earlier, and I think he was kind of like in your situation, John.
Yeah, he did.
Maybe just down, a mile an hour or so, and he just wasn't able to keep Ryan behind him. Then they were always battling side by side there at the end, and eventually that cost both of them maybe a third place finish because Rick zoomed right by both of them and took it from both of them.
When you look at the points now, Ron Johnson and Rick Biscon are in 3 points of that coveted third podium spot. Josh Elker, pretty solid, minus 70 from Rick. Obviously, we talked about in the broadcast when you had to miss last week, but that's the way life goes. And came out firing on all cylinders, and great job there.
Yeah, that's a great way to come back after missing a week, and I'm sure disappointment there with really giving Rick a run, really keeping him honest at the very least, we'll say. That if he did have a race where something weird happened and he was out early in a race, that points lead could have gone away really quickly there. So with 3 races left, probably would take Rick missing maybe a race or 2 now, Milty. But yeah, just a great season, Josh, and certainly a good, solid.
Let them know you were there. That's
At
for sure.
worst, you'll finish in second here if you just show up now. So a really good feather in your cap there. No shame finishing second to the great Rick Johnson.
Yep, definitely one of the best. I mean, if he wanted to celebrate the championship by taking a couple weeks off, I wouldn't mind it. But yeah, us finishing second is if you're gonna have to do it to one of the best.
I hear you on that. So appreciate it, guys. Thanks, Isaac, for spending the time. Just real quickly though, before you go, Isaac, let's briefly talk about your Pro Cup defense here. It's started about as best as you could script it. Just talk about winning 5 in a row, man.
Yeah, well, it started off with Martinsville. It was the week before the chase, and that's probably my best track. And I knew that if I wanted to get some momentum going, that I had to win that race. And I didn't make a mistake all night except for one time. And I mean, I've been pretty much mistake free the past 5 weeks. And Slim, he's made a couple of mistakes, and I've capitalized on a few of them. And I mean, for example, last week at Talladega, I mean, he just ran the perfect race, but I just somehow ended up beating him. It's just weird right now. I don't know. I'm just gonna ride this wave of momentum that I got.
Yeah, I mean,
Racing is like that.
That's some great stuff, man. And
great against the great Jim Gately. That's awesome.
Yeah, absolutely. And yeah, we wish you luck the rest of the chase there, and in your quest for back-to-back titles, which, in FSB history, Milty, correct me if I'm wrong, not a lot of guys winning multiple consecutive championships in Pro Cup.
Yeah, like Damon Gottstilla.
Yeah, like the Mount Rushmore of FSB is multiple Pro Cup champions, and to win consecutive championships is very reserved for the best of the best now.
Yeah, I mean it's gonna be tough to do. I mean I'm not I'm not saying that I'm the champion yet. I mean, I got 2 weeks, so I got to at least keep them 11 positions or 10 positions behind me on the track. So over the next 2 weeks, and then I can get it. But
Yeah, and you know that
I mean, it's
Slim will be hungry.
yeah, he's gonna do everything he can, but I'm gonna do everything I can, and we're just gonna find out who'll get it done.
Yeah, absolutely. So good luck the rest of the way there, bud.
Thank you.
And yeah, good luck with go-karts coming up for the summer. I'm sure big summer is planned for you there. So good luck with that.
Thank you.
And hopefully, if you run any of these races coming up in the last few weeks here
You
of
can
Winston
roll,
Cup,
man.
maybe we'll be talking to you again with another podium finish. So good luck, bud.
Thank you.
All right, Milty. Another one in the books. Winding down the season here, but remember, this is the long season, Milty. This was a marathon, not a sprint season. 23 big weeks, and the longest schedule I think in FSB history for Winston Cup. So
Absolutely,
these
yeah.
guys are really putting in some work here with the 23 week schedule, and we're winding down, just a few races to go, and why it looks like Rick will be our champion. There's still that top 10 still has a lot of racing to do.
Well, thanks to all the guys that showed up this year, in and out, doing life, and being able to race here and there, and just a double digit, very difficult platform. So, been great, and
Yeah, absolutely.
get ready for the next one, man.
Yep, look forward to the next broadcast, and we'll catch you on that one. And again, Isaac, congrats on the win, and another race in the books here, fsbracing.com, Winston Cup Friday nights. Check out the website, fsbracing.com, and lots of stuff going on. Racing every night of the week, Monday through Friday. Special events coming up. We got an Indy 500 coming up, full Indy 500 coming up. So still lots of special events once we hit the off season. So come check it out and be part of the fun.